Join me right now on Kumite TV is UFC heavyweight prospect Tanner Boser. What's going on, Tanner?
Hey, not too much. How you doing?
Good, good, man. Of course, let's get into UFC 240. Your opponent was popped by USADA days before. Would you have fought him anyways, even knowing that he was on PEDs?
Yeah, I don't care. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I fought a lot in Russia. It's completely allowed over there, pretty much. I don't care if he's on PEDs or not. I kind of figured he was just by the way he used to look. I just hoped he was smart enough not to get caught until after we fought, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah. A lot of guys seems like they're busting before they actually get a fight into the UFC. Just shows you that USADA is doing a pretty good job, right?
Yeah, they're doing a good job of catching guys, but they tested him in early July, so I don't know why they took
Mhm.
4 weeks to make it announced that he was caught. You know what I mean? It would have been cool if they could analyze it a few weeks earlier, so UFC would have had time to find a replacement. But I mean, I guess they're catching guys, so they're doing part of it. Yeah.
Going through your last camp and not fighting, how what kind of effect did it have on you, kind of emotionally?
Well, it just it pisses a guy off when you go through all the the hard, heinous parts of training camp. And I live in Canada, so we have a nice summer where I live, but it's only a few months, and I didn't really do anything fun because I was training for a fight in the middle of summer, and then it gets canceled, and then I got to start training for another one. So kind of throw your summer away a bit. So that sucks, but it is what it is. It's part of it, and I got better that training camp, and I got better this training camp, so it's okay. I'm ready for the next fight.
I read your post that you put up on Instagram saying that the UFC and the Reebok, they took care of you, they paid you. How helpful was that, to be able to be paid even though you did not fight?
It was extremely helpful. I would have been in trouble if I didn't get paid. So yeah, it was really solid. UFC paid me my show money, and Reebok paid me my sponsorship money anyway. And I mean, they didn't have to because I didn't weigh in yet or anything. It was the night before weigh-ins, so I mean, I'd done all the media obligations and all the other stuff fight week, but they definitely didn't have to. So that was really upstanding move of them.
Did you take some time off? Did you get some R&R before jumping back into another fight camp?
I took like a week off, just because I was I just didn't feel like it. I was bummed. So I mean, I took a week off, ate some food, and I went back to training the next week. I almost had a fight on the Anaheim card. I was almost on that, so I went back and started training for that. But then this fight came together afterwards, and so yeah, I've been pretty much training. I'm almost always in training camp. I have a couple of weeks off after a fight or whatever, but I'm always ready.
What happened with the Anima M card? Did the matchup just not, materialize, or did they get injured, or what happened?
I was offered Maurice Green. I said yes. He said no. I don't know if he's holding out for a top 15 opponent. That's the only thing that makes sense in my head because he's pretty good from what I've seen. It doesn't make sense to duck me, but I think probably he wanted a higher ranked opponent. Maybe I was too risky on short notice because he's on a streak. I don't know the deal, but anyway, he turned it down and they didn't have anyone else.
It seems like the UFC is signing, you know, a, a load of heavyweight fighters, young guys, guys just like you coming up in the sport. What do you think about the talent pool right now that is coming in to the UFC, the heavyweight talent pool?
Well, I mean, there's a big range. There's some very experienced guys, and there's some very inexperienced guys. They're signing a range of guys. There's the guys with the so far undefeated records who only have a handful of fights, and then there's the veterans who have 20 plus fights. I fall into that category. I mean, a lot of people see me as an up and comer, and I guess I am to North American fans. But I mean, I've had 22 pro fights. I've been around the block, so they're signing a range of guys, and I'm sure most of them are pretty good.
Yeah, if you go back, the first time I saw you fight was for ACB, now ACA. You spent some time with them fighting, internationally. Could you say those experiences, fighting for them better prepares you for the big stage of the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, I fought all over the world. One sec. Sorry, my phone was doing a thing. I fought all over the world, and I fought world class guys. So I mean, yeah, I've been fighting top talent for a while. So I mean, I think it definitely prepared me. Yeah.
When you look back at that experience, is there like one fight that you look at and be like, I grew most from that fight?
No, I don't
No.
have any one singular experience. They were all good in different ways.
All right. Now you're heading to Boston for your UFC debut. You're facing Daniel Spitz.
Yep.
Now, what is your thoughts on him and the type of fight he brings?
From what I've seen, he's good. He's very tall, right? He's 6'7", so he's got like 5 inches on me. He's got a long reach, and I mean he uses it pretty good. He's got good straight punches like a tall guy should, and he has shown some takedowns on guys like Godbeer. So I expect that it's gonna be it's gonna be a hard fight. He's reasonably well rounded, and yeah, I mean he's fought some tough guys. He fought Walt Harris. Walt Harris has been on a tear since 2018. So I mean yeah, Spitz poses some unique problems with his height and range, but I think I'm equipped to deal with that.
You said that you're basically always in training camp, but when a fight gets announced, what little changes do you make to your training to kind of prepare yourself the best for the fight?
It depends how far out it gets announced. So if I have like a 6 to 8 week notice, then you start high volume uh, and still like decent intensity, but nothing insane. And then as the fight gets closer, a few weeks out, you're at like really high intensity, but with less volume, and it peaks your conditioning in the correct way. We found.
Who have you been working with closely, the last couple months to get ready for this, upcoming fight?
Like training partners,
Yes.
KB Buller, Christian Larson, Teddy Ash, Graham Park. Uh, those are those are my main guys. Those four, and Jeff Porter. He's tall. So those five guys are my main training partners, my main sparring partners.
And the coaches that you work with, right? Who are the guys that have molded you the most, throughout your past, because you have a 22 fight pro career.
Yeah, my coaches are Jeff Montemuro and Keijiro Noda, and I've been with them for a long time. I've been with Jeff since I moved to Edmonton to start training like correctly. So I've been with Jeff basically the whole time, and I've been with Keijiro since 2013, right at the start. So I mean, I've been with him over 6 years. So yeah, they both of them have shaped my game and kind of made me into the fighter I am entirely. Like it's all their technique, all their training. I was with Luke Harris as well earlier in my career at Hayabusa Training Center when I first moved here, and he definitely had an influence on, especially earlier on. But now Pedro and Jeff are my main coaches, and yeah, I plan with on sticking with them for probably the duration of my career.
As a Canadian, there's a lot of Canadians coming up, in the UFC right now, and really the spot for like the top Canadian fighter in the UFC is still open for debate, right? Do you kind of, put yourself, do you put like Canada on your back a little bit and want to kind of push and become the face of Canadian MMA in the UFC?
Not a thing I've thought about.
Mhm.
Um, Canada's a big place. I'm never gonna have all of Canada on my back. It's a big place, and it's a semi-divided place. The French part of Canada might not be cheering for me right away. They have their guys. I'm sure Alberta. I'm definitely going to be Alberta's guy. Um, there's a few. We got some other good fighters like Hakeem Dawodu from Calgary and guys like that. But I want to represent my hometown really well. Bonnyville, it's just a town of 7,000 where I grew up. So I'm going to be Bonnyville's guy, and I'm going to be Edmonton's guy, and that's good enough for me.
All right. Well, now in the heavyweight division in the UFC, it seems like the title fight that's going to happen is going to be DC and Stipe in a trilogy. How do you see that third fight going down?
Man, that could go down anyway. Either one of those guys can catch the other one and finish him. Like, it's so hard to predict. You know, I don't know. I was wrong on both. The first time I thought Stipe was going to win, and then the second time I thought DC was going to win. So I don't know. I don't even have a prediction. I just hope it's a good fight because both of them are great fighters, and one of them's gonna cement their legacy, and the other one's gonna, it's gonna suck. So I don't know. I don't. It could seriously go either way. They both have so much power.
Your outlook on your career, do you just take it at like as one fight at a time, or do you have kind of this long term strategy of how you want to kind of elevate yourself into the rankings?
Oh, I have no strategy for that. It's
Mm.
definitely one fight at a time. I'll fight whoever. I'll fight it on however notice. I'll fight anybody. I don't care. I'm here to fight tough guys and hopefully beat more of them than I lose to. And yeah, I'd rather. I'm just here to have some good fights. I
Mm.
don't have any sort of tic tac toe strategy how to weasel my way up into the rankings. I don't really care about that.
One last thing before I let you go. There's many different types of competitors in mixed martial arts. Do you consider yourself at this moment in your career a martial artist or more of a prize fighter?
Well, man, I need the money something fierce, so that makes me a
Mm.
prize fighter. But I constantly am making myself better. I've been training martial arts for like almost my whole life, so I don't know. Maybe something in between. I don't know. Um, the way Forrest Griffin once said was, if you watch the Karate Kid and the coach when he yells at him to sweep the leg when his leg's already hurt, if you sweep the leg, you're a fighter, and if you don't sweep the leg because you want to beat him in a whatever what you consider a more fair match or want to have more honor, then you're a martial artist. And I can tell you 10 times out of 10, I'm going to sweep that leg. So I guess that makes me a prize fighter.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you got to attack the weakness, right?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm excited for your UFC debut since I've been watching you October 18th, UFC on ESPN2, Boston. Thank you, Tanner, for the time and good luck on the fight and your future.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.